Hello Geordies, welcome back to TwoForJoy. Today we're going to be diving into Newcastle's summer 2025 transfer window and grading our new signings and giving our overall verdict. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and give your opinions below. Let's get into it. Newcastle have made 8 signings this summer with an overall spend of around 260 million, equaling a net spend of 97 million thanks to a £125 million sale of Alexander Isak. So we'll start with the 2 youth signings. Anthony Cordero, we brought in from Malaga on a free, a promising young winger, but immediately loaned out to Belgium. He's yet to realise his potential. I'm sure that will come over time. He just needs game time. I'd probably grade him at a C, a flat C. We're yet to see anything. Hopefully we'll see a good loan spell and he'll come back to the club with a promising future. Park Sung-soo, who we got for an undisclosed free from Suwon Blue Wings. He showed real potential in pre-season. I was very excited by him. I actually hope we'll keep him around the first team. I think he'll grow into that left-hand side the more game time he gets. And he's probably a good stepping stone to come in as a backup for Gordon or Harvey Barnes, especially as Barnes hasn't had the greatest start. But I'd probably also grade him a C+. I'd give him a C+. So moving on to the first team signings. Anthony Elanga, £55 million from Notts Forest. A high potential Premier League player. This guy is lightning fast. Probably one of the fastest in the Premier League, along with Anthony Gordon. I think he offers us a great option going forward. He's good on transition. We definitely will see a massive upgrade from losing Miguel Almiron. And he definitely raises the ceiling slightly and the floor definitely. As a viable option to swap in and out with Jacob Murphy, I think this is a solid signing, an absolutely solid signing. I would give him a grade B. I think he's got good potential. He could turn into a grade A. We'll just have to wait and see what comes of it. So secondly, we have Aaron Ramsdale, a £4 million loan fee with an option to buy from Southampton. He's a solid keeper. I've always liked Darren Ramsdale. I think he's a good one. I think Arsenal fans, when they first bought Raya in, thought they were making the wrong choice by dropping Ramsdale. I think in the long run, it's worked out the right choice for them. But he's an England international. He's got a steady background. I think this is a good move for him. It's probably his level. I wouldn't say he's the elite goalkeeper, but he's definitely in that bracket of the kind of 4th to 6th positions in the Premier League. I think this is a solid signing. It definitely gives us somebody to test Nick Pope. He brings us a completely different variety of goalkeeper, being able to play with his feet. He's good. He's got a good range of passing. He's not a bad shot stopper. And like I say, England international, having 2 England international goalies in the team is a massive upgrade on Martin Dubravka. While I thought Dubravka was solid for us and he did a job for the time we had him, I think Ramsdale moving forward, he'll be a good one. He's bolstered the depth and given us the reliability. I would give this probably a grade A signing. Moving on to Malik Chow, we signed for 34 million, a reported 34 million from AC Milan. He looks like a solid addition. I don't know too much about Malik Chow, but from what I've seen of his highlight reels, and anybody's highlight reels can look good, but his ground game is fantastic. His slide tackle challenges, his physicality, his positioning looks great. The one thing I would say is his first touch is probably the thing that probably needs to be worked on the most. But for stature, his positioning and having a backup for Fabian Schär, I think this is a really, really good signing, a key signing that we've probably been looking for the last 2 years, to have somebody who's an upgrade on Lascelles but isn't quite at the level of Fabian Schär. It's a much needed reinforcement, and I think it's a solid signing. I'd give him a B+. The same thing, he may turn into an A, in the same sense as Sven Botman. It was a class upgrade. I think we just need time to see him and see how he comes in. But I definitely think this is a solid signing. Moving on to Jacob Ramsey. I really like Jacob Ramsey. 40 to 43 million reported from Aston Villa. A quality midfielder with Premier League experience. He's been, I'd say, steady rather than spectacular so far, but I expect big things from him. His presence in the kind of 8 to 10 role, he's great at carrying the ball. His progressive carries, his passing, even his finishing. You go back and look at some of the Aston Villa highlights of Jacob Ramsey when he first came on the scene. He was very highly rated, very highly valued at Aston Villa. I know the Villa fans were really sad to see him go. I think he is, I'm going to grade him a B. I think he is a solid signing, and I think it's the kind of where we wanted Willock to be. But Willock, obviously, with the injuries, and he hasn't really kind of hit that form that he had 2 years ago. I think this is a great signing, and he'll be a spectacular player for us in the end. So moving on to the big man, Nick Woltemade, the club record signing, 69 million from Stuttgart. The 6'6" man. I think this guy is tall, athletic. He's got Bundesliga experience, German international experience. Huge potential, absolutely huge potential. I will say, in Germany, as much as Ekitike was rated highly, Bayern Munich were pushing for Nick Woltemade. His destination was written in the stars to be Bayern Munich. They apparently had bid for him twice previously and just not met the valuation. But Bayern Munich fans always had it pegged that he was going to be their player. And any player that Bayern Munich are willing to spend the money on, I would say is definitely a solid signing. Whilst he's not really hit his full potential, he's definitely started well. Only 23 years old. I'm really impressed with the big man. He's got great feet, a great ability to carry the ball forward. He drops deep, very much in the Isak style. I think he will be a great addition to the club. Not only that, he's a very versatile player. He can play off the left, off the right. He can play as an attacking midfielder, a shadow striker, or the big man up front. And I probably don't think it'll be this season because we have to give him time. But eventually, I do believe that he will go on to be the central striker for Newcastle. I'll be very interested to see the combination of how we line up, whether we play him and Wissa together or whether we plan to slowly integrate Woltemade into the squad and let Wissa start. But I would definitely give this guy a B+. I think it's a tremendous draw, a tremendous coup for Newcastle to be able to pull in a young player of this stature, and it really turns that rejection FC into what I would call a fantastic window for the club. I think this is a great signing, and we will definitely be excited to see him play. And so finally, on to our last signing, Johan Wissa, £55 million from Brentford, a proven Premier League goal scorer, a goal scoring replacement for Isak. We have high expectations for Wissa. I mean, this guy's coming in off the back of a 20-goal season for Brentford. He looks a handful. He's a danger man. He's very intense. He's got a very intense style of play. He's fast. He's progressive. He's kind of that poacher role that similar in the vein of Callum Wilson, but probably coming back a few years in his prime, and he's ready. This guy's fit. He's able. He's a terrier. He's going to hassle defences. I think most of all, being in the Brentford team and having Sharda on the left and Mbuemo on the right, he never really got the credit he deserved for the amount of goals he'd score and the amount of slight chances, the half a chance that he'd have and manage to create a goal out of. If you watch his highlight reel for the last 2 years, this guy created some amazing goals from nothing. He's got a great technical ability. He's can finish with both feet. While he's not got the greatest presence in the air, height wise, he can head the ball. He's a great header of the ball. I think he's a good all-rounder and a solid addition. He's definitely bolsters this attacking line. I think this is a great signing in with Nick Voltemade. The same thing. I think Wissa he'll be a starting number 9. I think we'll probably play him more than Voltemade. And I think this is a solid signing that raises the ceiling, especially if you combine the goal tally of Voltemade and Johan Wissa from last season. It's like 37, 38 goals, which if we took Callum Wilson and Alex Isak, we're in the 28, 29 mark. This is a massive upgrade. I actually think over the course of a Champions League campaign, this will serve us much better than it ever would of hanging on to Isak and Wilson and going through this same campaign again. This is major progression. So I'd grade Wissa. I think he's got to be an A. The Premier League proven background, I think Wissa's got to be an A. We've got high expectations for Wissa. I love that he wanted the number 9 shirt. That's what we want to see. Players who want to come in, wear that shirt with pride. He was desperate to be here. And I think at this point, the 55 million price tag, we were definitely desperate to bring him in. While I feel the fee is probably 15, 20 million pounds overrated, from his interviews, from the look of him, from his play style, I think at this point we had to spend the money, and I think he'll be a worthwhile addition. So despite offloading an elite striker like Alex Isak for the £125 million windfall, Newcastle seem to have reinvested this really smartly across the pitch. I mean, we've seen other clubs do it throughout history, and I think this is our time to bolster the squad, raise the floor, push on. With a blend as well of immediate impact with probably Wissa and Ramsdale, through to the long-term potential of Elanga, Ramsey, Voltemade, and even the future potential of Cordero and Park Seung-soo. I think this really shows ambition from the club. I think they've really turned it round from this whole rejection FC and no player will want to sign for Newcastle and the way we treat players. I think this window shows the exact opposite of that, and that we are, growing into this stature of a club, and we can draw players and we can bring players on. And personally, I believe we are one of the best since Eddie Howe's come in. We are definitely one of the best at developing young talent into amazing prospects for the future. I mean, you've only got to look the change in Joel Linton, Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, Anthony Gordon, Alex Isak, the progression, the raised levels of people's games. I mean, even Jacob Murphy, who looked like he was a shoo-in to be sold when Eddie came in, getting, 20 goal involvements last season. It just shows that the ambition of this club and the way that we grow players and we're bringing players on, it's all down to the owners, the management, the structure that's been brought into the club. And while we question it at times, no CEO, no technical director, no sporting director, I think we're making positive moves in the window to really push on and be the club that we want to be. It's going to be an exciting season, being back in the Champions League. I feel like, while not the perfect window, it's a very solid window, especially considering the circumstances we went into at the start of this window with heavy expectation from the fans, that we'd make this the big window that we all dreamed of. But I think we can be proud at the end of the window. I think we can be proud of the business we've done. I definitely like it. I'd probably grade our overall window at a B, maybe a B plus. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you've liked the video, give me a thumbs up, hit the sub, and hopefully guys, I'll see you in the next one.